Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to make cream puffs. If you look at your recipe, first step is you're going to preheat your oven to 400, and then you're going to make the cream puff dough. So under the cream puff dough, number 1, in a medium-sized saucepan, combine water and butter and bring to a rolling boil. This is what I've done here, okay? Then it says reduce heat, so I'm going to reduce the heat to low and then mix in flour all at once over low heat. So I've already measured a half cup, and this is low heat. I'm going to put the flour in. Mix with a wooden spoon. We don't have wooden spoons, but you can use something like this. And you're going to mix until a dough ball is formed. And it's on low heat. So you want to get all the flour incorporated into that liquid mixture. Okay, all my flour is incorporated now. So it says remove pan from heat. So I'm going to put it on another pan. Then it says beat in eggs, one at a time until completely combined. So I'm going to put my first egg in, and it's off the heat. Remember that it's off the heat. And then I'm going to mix, and this is where you have your leavening that takes place. Air and eggs will create a leavening agent. So I want to whip this, get air incorporated. You'll see it looks something like this. You can come closer and see. It looks something like that. And you want to wait until it gets all incorporated in. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to add my second egg now. And you do one egg at a time. And you want to whip and get that air incorporated. So you can see it kind of looks like that. That's okay. Just keep on whipping with your spatula. And it's going to be kind of odd at first, but you just keep on whipping and it will get incorporated in. Now if this was on the heat, you would get scrambled eggs. So it's really important that you take it off the heat and then you start whipping. Okay, almost there. You'll feel the consistency kind of change too. And you'll see that the egg is all incorporated in. So that's pretty good. Okay, so it will look something like that when it's done. So don't put it on the heat still, just keep it off the heat. Number 4, when the dough is completely mixed, spoon onto a lightly greased cookie sheet in medium-sized balls. Okay, so when you have scooped them on your greased cookie sheet, they will look something just like that. You can use a cookie scoop and they'll be a little bit more uniform, or you can just scoop it out with a spoon like I did. Step 5 says bake at 400 for 30 to 35 minutes. While they're in the oven, you can work on your filling and set that to the side too to cool. So these we're going to go into the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. Alright, so our cream puffs are in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes on 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I'm making my filling, and it says on step 1, with an electric mixer, mix pudding, milk, and vanilla together. I've placed these items in here. I'm going to mix it, okay? Once it's mixed, I am going to come up to the front of the lab, and I'm going to saran wrap it and put my group number on it. And I'm going to put this in the fridge. This helps solidify and make it a pudding, okay? And it keeps it cold, which is important too. So once this is thoroughly mixed, I'm going to turn it a little bit. Okay, that's good. It really doesn't take too much to make it. Just make sure all the pudding's incorporated. Okay, we're good. Now this is done. It will look something like this. Then a group member is going to come up, get saran wrap, label their pudding with their group number, and then put it in the fridge. So I got this from the fridge. It is solidified. It's now pudding. I'm going to take my half container of Cool Whip and I'm going to add it in. And then I'm going to fold it in with a spatula. So just going to kind of mix it all together. until it's all combined. And then what you can do is either put this back in the fridge to make it a little bit more cold, or you can just leave it out, either way. But once it's solidified, you can whip in that Cool Whip. Just make sure you scrape and get everything incorporated, mixed in. And this will be the filling for your cream puffs. Good. Okay, so now we have our cream puffs done. They actually didn't cook for 30 minutes. I just waited until they were brown. These are definitely cooked enough. So you can kind of just keep an eye on them and take them out when they are ready. These have puffed up quite a bit. That is perfect. That's what you're looking for. Your egg has become a leavening agent, egg and air. So that's one way that eggs become a leavening agent. So go ahead and keep them cool, let them cool, and then when you're done, you're going to cut them in half. Alright, so when you are done, the last step you're going to do is make your glaze. And believe it or not, this is a little bit tricky. We're making a microwave glaze. There's a lot of ways you can do this, but this is how we're going to do it. First, you measure your butter and your cocoa like this, and then you're going to melt it in the microwave. So you're going to have something that looks similar to this, and it takes only about 30 seconds to a minute, but you just want it to be liquidy like this. The next step is you are going to stir in milk, powdered sugar, and vanilla. So here's my milk, here's my powdered sugar, and here's my vanilla. And this will vary depending on the consistency you want. If you want it to be thicker, then you can come up and get more powdered sugar. If you want it more liquidy, then you can come up and get more milk. But it should all kind of mix together and make a nice glaze. But again, if you want a little bit more powdered sugar, that's fine. But you just keep on mixing it, and it should combine all together and make a consistent glaze. And you may need to adjust this a little bit, just depends. I think I want to make this a little bit thicker, so I'm going to add a little bit more powdered sugar. And you just keep on stirring until it gets to the consistency you want. A little bit more powdered sugar, and I kept on mixing pretty hard, and that is the consistency that I want. So if you want it more liquidy, you add a little bit more milk. If you want it a little bit more thicker, then you add a little bit more powdered sugar. This is the last step that you're going to do right before you put them on your cream puffs. You're good. So I've placed cream in all of these. Now the last thing I did was make my glaze. Now I'm going to just glaze over the top. And you can either frost it like that, or you can kind of do it a little bit messy if you want. That's why I put the tin foil on there, because it's going to be easier to clean up after. So I just put it kind of like that on there, like so. And then when you're done, you can put these in the freezer. And I would let it freeze for about 5 minutes and get your kitchen cleaned while it's in the freezer, because they're better when they're cold. Now you're done, they're frozen. You can dish them out on your separate paper plates, and then you'll just take this and throw it away and then clean it after. So, good job!